Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back into another edition of Jake's Takes. I am your host, Jake Massucci, and I am happy to be joined by my guys. All right, my guys. I got not one Marty for you, but two Martys, okay? I double dosed on you guys. I'm sorry. I was in the Marty craze, and I'm ready. I'm ready for this.
This is about to be
we're
nuts.
Talking about Marvel Comics today.
Yes, sir.
We're bringing it back. Marty Hannon saw I brought on Marty Massucci, and he was like, I want in on the action too. Like, come on. So last week we went to go see the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and boy, that was something else.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. The Guardians is one of my favorite. I mean, even going before one of the favorite. Obviously, it was the Avengers, and the Guardians, but my favorite standalone movies in general in the MCU, and I think James Gunn does a great job. And honestly, I think he's going to do a great job moving forward with DC too. I like in general, and this was nothing short of that. Again, the Guardians was very good.
I know, unbelievable. What did you think, Marty?
I thought it was awesome. I loved it how it feels like more of a turning point for the MCU, how it's a fully developed movie. It didn't have the plot holes like a few of the other movies that came out recently. And just overall, I love the story. I loved how they actually finally made Rocket a raccoon.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. They really dived deep into Rocket in this one, which I really enjoyed. I also really like how they did the past scenes in this movie. I really like kind of shows and movies that dive into a character's past. And I thought James Gunn did like you were saying, did a fantastic job of like really making Rocket a very important character to us, you know? And they really did a great job just bringing it all together. Talking about it, they really dive deep into Rocket's backstory, and they dive deep into kind of what these characters will do in the future. Like, what did you think of them kind of wrapping up the Guardians of the Galaxy? What do you guys think?
I thought it was good, a good ending, because obviously endings suck, right? Like we wish, like even take back to Endgame, right?
Yeah.
Like I miss Chris Evans, Captain America, and Robert Downey's Iron Man.
I think we all do.
We all do, right? But there's a time for everything to come to an end, and I think for James Gunn and all the actors, it was that time, and they did a great job of ending it to where each character kind of has a future that could be used again in the MCU, or they could just kind of be out there and it be left up to our imagination. So yeah, that's how I thought it was a very good ending.
Yeah, no, interesting for sure. What about you, Marty?
Well, bringing it back around to Iron Man, we really saw the brains of Rocket this time. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. This is just me thinking, but like, there could be a rivalry. Like, yes, Iron Man is technically dead, but if there's ever a comeback or if there's ever like intelligence needed, like we have Rocket. Like, shoot, he is smart. Like he doesn't always show it because like he's always, hey, shoot now, think later. But like he develops technology, he does this, that, the other. Like the fact that he upgraded the arms, upgraded technology, everything is just insanely teched out.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, just how smart he is really gets overlooked in the MCU, like you were saying. And they really dove deep into that. And it's kind of cool because it's kind of like a theme that they've done in Guardians of the Galaxy where, like, either it's Quill or it's Rocket. They stand out from everybody else. Like, Quill was the one person offspring that Ego had that, like, turned into something and had that, what was it, celestial gene or something like that. And, I mean, I just thought that was really interesting to kind of put it together how important the Guardians are.
To that point, I think really, I think to an extent every Guardian outside of Star-Lord's been overlooked until this movie with Rocket.
Yes.
Because, I mean, there's a lot of Drax backstory that, like, I mean, yeah, his family was murdered, but, you don't really see that totally.
I would love to see a Drax backstory.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be something else.
Yeah.
No metaphors in that one. But but to the point, like, I mean, his backstory is deep, and it totally, you understand why, like, because in general, Rocket, can be perceived as kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Like, to be completely honest,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
But you completely see, and you even see, which was just kind of good cinema, was when he's flying away, when he's escaping after all, it's like he's sad, but then it just turns into anger. And that's just kind of how he deals with every emotion moving forward. And I've seen things. Remember the scene in Guardians 1 when him and Drax are fighting?
Uh-huh.
And that seems a little bit deeper now.
Yeah.
But no, just in general, it's like you said. I mean, Rocket is like he's actually a developed character, not just kind of this side character that we get to hear Bradley Cooper's voice, and it's much more legit now.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I really think, I just love when characters have so much that they struggle to go through, and it goes back to kind of Nebula too, the same thing, because in that funny scene where Quill turns to her romantically, I thought that was funny, but then she just goes to her saying, I got these eyes from Thanos when he was torturing me forever, and it just goes back to these characters like Nebula and Rocket. They're so tortured, but they become such better heroes and people because of it, and I love that.
And it also goes to show it's not always the backstory, because a lot of people's backstories are terrible. It goes to what you actually make of it.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I just think James Gunn did a fantastic job of really just showing that and building the characters upon it. And I mean, even just all the characters he's brought into this is unbelievable. I looked at Guardians of the Galaxy personally before the first movie and was I don't know if I'm gonna like this.
Nobody knew who they were.
Exactly.
That's the thing about James Gunn is obviously Marvel in general, before since Iron Man, before Iron Man, things were different, right? It was really there's Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man, who are probably your A-list heroes, and then everybody else behind them. But everybody knew who Captain America was. Good amount, a very good amount of people knew who Thor was, Iron Man, Hulk. Everybody knew who Hulk was. So in general, people knew the Avengers, right? And there was the X-Men, who obviously couldn't be used, but there was. But the Guardians of the Galaxy, no one had heard of them. And James Gunn took this, really where there's no... there's source material to use for them, but no common to, people, which I guess you could, just even goes to more his creative mind, just, because he was able to do whatever. And I saw he posted on his Instagram, he said something, he wanted to make a movie that wasn't like Star Wars, but gave people that same feeling.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of cool, because I kind of get what, it was, just all the different majestic visuals. I don't know. Guardians mixes a lot of different things together that sometimes I think get taken for granted. But again, that's why it's one of my favorite MCU storylines.
Hello. This is Giovanni Mosheri. You may have heard me a couple times on Jake's Takes. I am the sports media director of Oakland University's campus radio station, WXOU, and I've been the host for about 2 years of a weekly sports show called The Jomo Show, where we cover all of Oakland University athletics, including a weekly update on scores and highlights, as well as interviews with athletes or those otherwise involved in athletics. You can listen to The Jomo Show live on WXOU Thursdays at 6, or you can tune in to me afterwards on Spotify. It's The Jomo Show.
Yeah, so if we're ranking it amongst the other movies, and we talked about this a little bit off air, but I wanted to get it on air a little bit. We're looking at the Thors, the Iron Mans, the Captain Americas, and now the Guardians. All of these are concluding. Where would we rank these? We got to rank these a little bit. Marty, why don't I start with you? Where would you rank them in the order that you like?
For those four, I'm gonna have to go with. Definitely, for me, Captain America is 1.
Okay.
It's close between Iron Man and Guardians of the Galaxy for 2, but then, if they share 2 and 3, and then, while the Avenger movies are amazing overall, it has to go somewhere, so it has to kind of hit 4. With Thor as well, and then I love it. It's a really hard decision, because, I love all of these characters.
Exactly.
But then one of the reasons Thor is at the bottom, the latest movie wasn't personally as good. It wasn't the best. It wasn't.
Thor 1 and 2 weren't the best either. They were good.
No, I would say that those were pretty good.
No, they were. But when you put them in comparison to Iron Man 1 and Captain America 2.
That's fair. That's fair.
They're not the same.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree with Marty on the 1 and 2 for Thor part because like I think they did an okay job of like building the character, but like the second Thor, man, this might be one of the worst movies the MCU has come out with, to be honest, in my opinion.
OG MCU.
Yeah, OG MCU, like, and that's still them building and like
for sure.
figuring out everything. But Marty, what about you? What would you give?
So for me, I honestly like. I think the Avengers, just that portion of the movies was like nothing like that's ever been done. And I think that's number one for me.
Okay.
I think I go Captain America too. I mean, he's my favorite character, so it's biased. But I think each movie brought its own like meant a lot for Marvel. So like, Captain America 1, it's just like I just really enjoyed it. I like World War II, so
Yeah.
But 2 and 3 had big consequences for Marvel as a whole.
100%.
Like,
especially Civil War.
Especially Civil War is really the whole reason we have Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame, and that's why I think again the Russo brothers did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
But back to and then that's where I put Guardians right after, and that's just because again I think James Gunn just did a great job of consistency throughout the 3 movies.
So, question for you there: why would you have Guardians over Iron Man? I'm just curious.
Yeah, no,
looking at
for
it
sure.
from that way, because that was one of the ones where I was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
no, that's fair.
tough,
So I think that Iron Man 1 is like an extremely good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man 2 is solid. I think 3 is pretty good too. But I think what Guardians does is it mixes like comedy, action, and emotion just in plain visual extremely well, which just some of the other movies don't. And that's another thing what I liked about the Captain America movies too, is that like, there's emotion in those too.
Mm-hmm.
The scene when he's going down and he's on the thing with Peggy, when he's fighting Bucky and he's not fighting back, like
They just built the characters.
yeah,
so
right.
well
They
there,
just
yeah.
those the character development in Guardians I just think was very strong. And I mean it wasn't Iron Man 2. I mean Tony Stark, Robert Downey was the best actor in the MCU in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I just felt that like the writing and directing of James Gunn was unmatched.
That's 100% fair. And then what about you, Marty? What would
I was
you
gonna say, adding on to that, like, there's never a dull moment in Guardians of the Galaxy,
No, yeah.
like, at all. Like, yes, both of them are like, if you compare Guardians of the Galaxy to Iron Man, both of them are like amazing movies. But yeah, you can kind of see sometimes like, hey, maybe Iron Man, there's a lull in the movie, and then it gets back up, and then it goes back down. But like, Guardians of the Galaxy just keeps hitting boom, boom, boom. Like, you have enough characters to pull from. Like, hey, let's add some humor into this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, let's have some Drax into this. you can't see me. I'm not here.
Yeah, right. Or even like take into account too, like Yondu, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guardians 1, you probably don't like Yondu.
True.
He's an ass.
Right.
But like, I mean, you're choking up when he dies in 2.
Yeah.
It just goes back to that character development of
Uh-huh.
like, it's just it's different level.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. So, if I had to rank them, I think I'd have to go. I like Avengers 1. I mean, you got to put Avengers 1 because they just do such a great. Like, I think Thanos is probably my favorite villain ever. Just in any movie possible. Like, I think they just built him up so well and actually created a side to where if you look at Infinity War as Thanos as the hero, it's like not, like you can't look at it like that. It's
Anti-hero at best. but-
Anti-hero, fair. But like in your own twisted way, like you can think about it like that.
Jake is gonna try to kill half of the world's population.
If I get the
ready.
Infinity Stones, guys, it could be dangerous.
Oh, it's over. It is
But
over.
I just love the Avengers. I'd have to have them one. And then looking at it, like I just fell in love with Iron Man, I think a little like later. So I'd have to put Iron Man a little bit back because I think they did a better job of building Iron Man in the Avengers than the movies, because his movies were good to me, but I just don't know how much like they built up the other characters. Like we're not seeing us talk about like a Pepper Potts or something that we love. And I think she was fine, but like looking at it, it was just like, I don't know.
So that too. I mean, like, who's the first name in the cast list of every Avengers movie? It's Robert Downey.
Yeah,
So
Robert Downey,
I think that's something. Like, those are they're not his movies, just but like very much they are.
Yeah, and like I feel like those movies build him more than the actual movies. So I like what you guys are saying with Captain America too.
Because that goes to the same point. I think that Captain's movies build him more. I think he gets a lot of, obviously, like, screen time.
Yeah.
And, like, he gets as much screen time as Iron Man does in the Avengers, but it's more just him leading the team and fighting, not his character developing. It's just him being Captain America, not Steve Rogers going through different levels of things.
Well, a lot of
Except
that is, like, we already know who Captain America is. He knows himself. He knows, like, oh, he's going to do exactly what needs to be done for the future. But, like, yeah, that means he doesn't always think about all the consequences. But at the same time, then Iron Man, like, he doesn't know exactly who he is all the time. He knows he's insanely smart. He knows he's, like, billionaire, philanthropist, all that, yada, yada. But, like, he still has emotional ties to everything.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of an emotional disconnect from Captain America, where he still fights for everything he loves, but, like, he knows himself.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things.
No, and I agree with that. And, like, thinking about it in, like, the 2012 era, I feel like a lot of people would have liked Iron Man way more in that first Avengers movie because you've seen him more, you know? And it's like, it's Robert Downey Jr., you know? And, like, a lot of people at that time liked the fun attitude where he's like picking the bear and stuff, and it was just so cool to see them and the Avengers like kind of click and like create this great friendship, because at the beginning, like, Iron Man hates Captain America because that's all his dad talked
and vice
about.
versa.
Exactly, yeah. And I just think that was really cool, and they did a great job of that. And Captain America, like, they just continued to build him throughout, which I loved. And then looking at 3 and 4, I'd probably go Guardians. Just the comedy side, along with the building of the characters, to me is just so great. And that's what Marvel is to me. Like, they just do such a great job at creating that comedic side, along with, okay, this is, you know, there's some really serious parts, you know. And I think James Gunn was, like, perfect at that. And then, like, even Thor had one of his movies, the Ragnarok, which was fantastic at doing that. And I think that's just so hard to replicate, you know, because, like, looking at DC, they've struggled to replicate that for years. But
And I think to that point too, I think what makes that appealing to us is, like, that's relatable. Like, we try to go through our lives pretty light about things, but when shit happens, when real shit happens, you know, like, it sucks.
yeah,
You know, and I think that's what James Gunn does a great job of realizing. Like, these guys, they're like us. They're a ton of pricks. You know, so they just want to go through
Speak for
life.
yourself.
Yeah, they just want to go through life, you know, lighthearted, but you can't do that, especially in the profession they're in.
yeah. No, I 100% agree. So I'd have Guardians third, and then I think I'd have Iron Man fourth, and Thor fifth. I think we all have similar lists there, but I just think it's really cool because we're kind of concluding that era of those original movies to kind of rank them and see where we're going. So before we go, this is going to be a quick podcast. We just wanted to talk about this Guardians, but I want to talk about each character a little bit and what they're going to move on to, because spoiler alert, if you have been listening and haven't seen the movie, I don't know what you're doing, but all the characters lived. So we'll go through like each of them, talking about Peter Quill. Okay. So I'm trying to set the scene. I'm trying to remember. He went back to Earth, correct? And he's just hanging out with his grandpa, right?
Yeah.
Kind of chilling. What should we expect from him? What do you guys think about, like, what's going to happen? Marty, I'll start with you.
Well, obviously, there's still tension between him and Gamora.
Yes.
Because, like, we saw at the end, like, I don't know, I can't even describe. There's still tension between the two of them. So hopefully we get see more of that in the future. We get to see them get back together. But then, like, he knows, like, people on Earth now. So maybe we get to see him in a few movies coming up. Maybe, like, just him standalone, since they're all broken up at the moment. So yeah, at the moment, yeah, he's just chilling with the grandpa. But, like, hopefully we get to see him in, like, a future movie.
Yeah, he could be like an add-on to a TV show coming up.
He could, yeah.
I mean, that'd be something interesting. Marty, what about you? What do you think?
So, you know, at the end, obviously, again, you haven't seen it. I mean, you're kind of in too deep now. But it said Star-Lord will return.
Yeah.
That being said, Chris Pratt said he's not gonna return in, like, a Guardians movie if it's gonna kind of deface James Gunn's legacy.
Yeah.
So I think, I personally don't think they're gonna make another Guardians of the Galaxy. I think the Guardians.
I don't want them to. No,
I don't either. No, there's one guy that can make those, and they, like, don't.
Exactly.
But anyway, I think I agree with you, Marty. I think he could find his way into some other projects because like he's a hero on Earth. Like if there's something going on Earth, like who he is not going to be able to let that happen. So,
Exactly.
You know, and I think he might be a important part of Avengers, Secret Wars, and the Kang Dynasty maybe.
Yeah.
Just, you know, because again, he's a hero on Earth.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be I guess that's where I was going to go to something else, but yeah.
All right, but you know, like I was thinking about it, and I'm thinking about like the past few movies and like who's left on Earth right now, and this is just me thinking and kind of going on a little tangent, but there is somebody that has so-called dead that we don't know. Like she's been around, but she was like last we've seen in a pile of rubble in Multiverse of Madness, and that's Wanda. I'm thinking maybe he could have something to do with that. Maybe like try to bring her back. What do you guys think of that?
I don't quite know about that one because while yes, they're
Because I feel
both-
like they're
yeah.
just both lost characters at this moment. Because Peter's still trying to figure out who he is as a person. You know, he's coming back to Earth trying to figure that out. And Wanda is now confused as hell because she just went on a killing rampage. Okay? So I feel like that could be like an interesting group of characters to bring together. What do you guys think? Sorry, I cut you off.
You know, you're good. I agree that'd be interesting. I don't know if that would quite work storyline wise, just
Yeah.
because like
Okay.
they're two polar opposite to where like Peter Quill's more of like a comedy. Oh yeah, let's get this thing done. Let's have a dance off or whatever. And then like Wanda is just the appearing stable, unstable, crazy girl.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't
I
know.
feel like she might pop back up in another Doctor Strange though. So like, or in Secret Wars maybe.
Yeah, and it would be hard to like take her away from the magic part too. But I feel
Right.
like it'd be a good like kind of place to put Peter, you know, because right now like if you're looking at it from a Marvel perspective, you're trying to think where are we gonna put Peter, you know, like in the next thing, and I just don't know like where it fits. Does he fit in like? Maybe he'd fit more like in a Spider-Man type of thing, but like I don't really know. It's kind of difficult, you know, to
Right.
be honest, because like it's just hard to see him anywhere else besides the Guardians. But what do you think? Like, where do you think Peter would kind of fit in with another hero?
I don't think he really fit in with Wanda, to
Yeah.
be completely honest.
No, that's fair. I mean,
yeah.
you guys tell me I'm completely wrong.
No,
I'm
yeah.
fine with that. I'm fine with that.
I think he fits in with like a Spider-Man type deal, but where they're taking Spider-Man, I don't know if he fits in there. 'Cause
True.
he fits in with Spidey, but does he fit in with like Daredevil and the Punisher?
True.
You know, like I don't
really
know.
know.
Or, you know, like those guys are deep and dark, and I like him fighting the Kingpin. I don't think I could totally see.
Yeah.
So I honestly think him taking a backseat for a while isn't the worst thing in the world. For the next few movies, like I love him and I want to see him and stuff, but I don't think we're gonna see much of him again until the next Avengers movie. These are just my thoughts, or maybe a show or something. But that's just what I think. I think he doesn't really fit with unless like you made like a Star-Lord movie, but I don't think you would do that.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
I guess with Thor, he
Maybe.
could fit with Thor.
Honestly, that might not be a bad idea because like Thor, while he has the kid, isn't quite there, and he could bring him back.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, it'll be interesting to see with what's going on with Chris Hemsworth, where Thor will come into play and things. But that's, I think, the best like living hero right now. Maybe helping with things in Wakanda. I guess just because he's like kind of used to like higher levels of technology. But
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I got right now.
Okay. So looking at the other characters, most of them are kind of already like we know what's gonna happen. Like Nebula, she's staying on Nowhere to like help out with the society, and then Rocket's like starting his own Guardians. He's got like a lot of people in there. That's actually kind of a cool group when you look at it. But then
It'd be fun to get some of the like shorts for just them, like
Yeah,
like
no, that
kind of
would
the
be
Groot
kinda
shorts.
funny.
Like get a short of like the new Guardians,
or maybe like another like Christmas special with that.
Right,
That
right.
should be kind of cool. And then looking at some of the others, I'm trying to think. Mantis is the only other one that left, and we really have no clue. Like, she also could be another add-in on like a movie like in space and stuff. And was it the Thor movie where they dove deep in and in the end credit scene, they talked about Thanos' brother. What was his name?
Oh, that was
Eternals.
that's from Eternals.
That was Eternals.
Yeah.
Yes. Could Mantis have something to do with
Ooh.
that? Maybe. Like that's what I was thinking. That was my first thought when I saw Mantis leave. I was a little confused. What do you guys think?
Shoot, I forgot about the Eternals. It's possible that Star-Lord could get involved there.
True.
Now, I see Mantis more coming in like a Avengers type movie. Like it's just a random. Wait, why are you here? Like,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and just comes in with the three beasts that she's with, or maybe even more. Because like,
Yeah.
she connects. Like she has
Connects
connections
people,
to
yeah.
animals,
Yeah.
or to creatures.
Yeah. No, that would be interesting. Marty, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I could see again Star-Lord with the Eternals. Maybe I could maybe even see Star-Lord with the Marvels. I guess
Yeah.
like
maybe
not in the movie, but just like with that type of just because
going
on a space quest.
after the movie.
yeah.
After
No,
the movie.
I don't
Got
think
it,
he'll be in that movie, but as far as Mantis goes, yeah, maybe the Eternals again. Maybe like she could show up, and the reason I say the Marvels is just because they go to space.
Yeah.
So that's my only like, and I guess that's where you've seen Quill, and that's the only place we've really seen Mantis.
True.
So,
True.
and Mantis could also come around to see Peter.
Mm-hmm.
She's like your friend that comes around. Like I don't know if I want to see you, but like you kind of come around, I guess.
That's true. That's very true. That's very true. All right. So to wrap up a little bit, we're gonna look at some of the movies in the future. Okay. And I don't really know them off the top of my head, to be honest. But I know we got some shows coming out. I know the Marvels is coming out. That's a movie, correct? And
Yeah,
that'll
big
be-
two is the Marvels, and then Deadpool,
Okay.
which that one's gonna be great.
Yeah, no.
that one's gonna be great.
Thunderbolts is coming out too.
Thunderbolts.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know as much about that one. Yeah,
Yeah. No. Do you guys know what's coming out first?
it's the Marvels. Then it's I believe that's Deadpool 3, in somewhere in December, and then after that, I don't know exactly off the top of my head.
I think Thunderbolts comes out sometimes early, like spring next year, kind of like this time period,
Mm-hmm.
and or summer. I don't totally know.
Wait,
about
no,
anything
scratch that. It's Marvel's December because they're only doing 2 this year,
Okay.
and then 2024 is Deadpool, and then Thunderbolts is probably sometime around then.
And then this fall we got Loki, correct?
We do, yeah.
Loki. That one's going to be huge.
That's going to be great.
I'm sure that'll probably be our next podcast, to be honest.
Oh,
Looking at
absolutely.
Loki.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be really
Podcast episode by episode ?
No.
That'd be a lot. That'd be a lot.
All right, welcome back to Film Theory.
Talking about the future.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Marvels, I don't have huge expectations. The first Captain Marvel was what it was. I don't know if she has a tendency to be a very dry character.
Yeah.
Um.
I mean that's fair. Like,
So I don't even totally know who's the lead in that. So I need to see more before I put like. And I do more like that's why I brought up Thunderbolts. I'm more of like on the grounded stuff outside of Guardians. But Deadpool 3, I'm a huge fan of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine coming back.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see where that goes. I don't think they'd screw anything like that up. I think it's a ploy. I think what Marvel ultimately wants to do is in one of the Avengers have Evans Captain America, Downey's Iron Man, Jackman's
yeah.
Wolverine, and maybe even Maguire's Spider-Man all on the screen together just for some fan service, but which I would
could
love.
see it.
Like,
I could see it.
So-
and that could bring down to the like universe ending
Yeah, right.
type event.
Mhm.
Exactly. And but I guess then going forth to the Thunderbolts is so that's coming out. That's with like John Walker's U.S. agent Ilana from hopefully I said that right, from Black Widow's
Okay.
sister.
Yeah.
I
no,
think,
that's really exciting. Okay.
I think-
I'm putting it together now.
Yeah, I think
That's
Bucky's
really
going to be back in that.
Ooh.
Ghost from Ant-Man
okay,
2.
yep, that's Thunderbolts. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's her Valentina's she's
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
the girl from Seinfeld, Elaine. But yeah, so I'm excited for that. I like the grounded action and stuff, and I'm just curious. They could go in a lot of different directions with that.
Mhm.
It's kind of like the Dark Avengers in a way.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. And I don't know much about the plot of that movie. Nothing's been really released, but the rumor is it's going to have something to do with the Eternal that like or not the Eternal, sorry, the Celestial that died in the Eternals,
Oh, okay.
and that his body has adamantium or something like that.
and then that might tie into the Eternals as well, like
Right.
kind of tying in Thanos, tying in like, hey, why is things happening? Yeah,
Exactly.
that could be sick.
That could be
Yeah, no,
brilliant.
for sure.
All right, Marty, what are you thinking about the future for Marvel right now?
So, Marvel, I've very, very high hopes for Deadpool 3.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is going to be, I don't even know how to describe it. I think it's going to be some sort of nuts where everything's flying everywhere. I don't even have words to describe it right now. I don't know.
It's gonna be hilarious.
Oh, absolutely.
It's gonna be so funny.
It's going to like multiply everything MCU times 50 and then throw in Hugh Jackman as well. Like it's it's going to be nuts. And I don't even have words for this. I'm just
You're pumped.
pure excitement.
I can see it. I mean, the future of Marvel, I think we can all agree it's heading in the right direction. They're starting to figure it out a little bit.
We'll see. I don't think.
Okay, you're not there yet. All
No,
right,
I'm there. I'm there.
That's fair. I don't think. See, where I disagree about Guardians being a turning point.
Mhm.
This is something that James Gunn has had in his mind, not everybody else's. The Russos aren't there anymore, and they're relying on the person who wrote Doctor Strange 2.
True.
I did not like Doctor Strange 2 that much at all.
True.
So
I think
I'm
if
not
they went full horror, then it would have been great.
Yeah, maybe. So I'm or not directed. Sorry, Sam Raimi. I love just
Yeah.
got from Spider-Man's, but the writer is who they're relying on. But so I'm cautiously optimistic because like I'm not making these movies, so like I'm not gonna knock them yet. But I'm just I don't know. They need to develop these characters because Marvel is at best. When it's focusing on its characters, not so much like crazy storylines. I think they're trying to move a story too fast, and the character development's lagging behind right now.
No.
Which is actually why they're starting to slow down movies like
Yeah.
per year, where they're now actually. Well, to me, this shows like, hey, they can stop, develop some characters, actually show like plot lines unrelated to anything, but like it still can tie it back later.
Okay.
Like it develops the characters. It could be a start.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it is the start, but I think this might be the
That's
start.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all hoping for it to really be the transition because, I mean, we talked about it on the last pod. Like, we were really like, man, what's going on? You know,
Right.
like it was a struggle, and then this movie, it can give us hope. I think it can give us hope.
That's a good point.
It's a fantastic movie, and I mean, we will be critical. We will be the guys that will be critical. If we don't like it, we'll say it. But this movie, I thought was really good. It was one of the best we've seen in a while, and I'm really excited for the future. I think it's gonna be pumped. think it's going to be really good. But I'd like to thank you guys both for joining the podcast. I mean, it's so much fun to talk about Marvel. I love talking about Marvel.
All day.
I love geeking out about this stuff all the time, and I'm happy I have you two to do it with. So thank you for joining the pod. I really appreciate it. All right,
Sir.
that is going to wrap up Jake's Takes. This is episode 20. Episode 20.
Wow.
Wrapping up
Milestone.
right now. Yeah. You guys should be proud, all right? You guys are episode 20. All right, but that's going to wrap it up. This is Jake Massucci, Marty Hannon, Marty Massucci. We'll see you later. Peace.